Hey y'all, it's Deltrice Hart Anderson here of D Hart Accounting, where we keep the IRS out of your pocketbooks, wallets, and bank accounts. So a lot of people have been asking me, hey, I didn't get an update. What's going on with the government shutdown as it pertains to the IRS? Well, this just in, as of today, October 8th. So the IRS has a shutdown contingency plan. Half of their, well, I guess it's a little over half of the IRS staff will remain intact because they are considered essential. Some of those employees are actually working on the upcoming tax season. So they're getting the computers ready, they're making sure the forms are right, all the things, right? The people that were out in the field, like your revenue officers, your auditors, they are not working anymore. So if you have or had an audit where someone was coming to your office or someone was coming to your home, or if you were mandated to go to the IRS to visit a revenue officer or an auditor, or a revenue agent, then that is stopped. So any face-to-face interaction, I'm assuming that's all the face-to-face interaction there was. That activity has stopped. However, if you're in collections, not you talking back and forth with a revenue officer, but if you owe money to the IRS and you don't have a revenue officer and you were not being audited by a person, you still have some work to do to make sure to protect your pocketbooks, wallets, and bank accounts. And I say this because automated collections is still going on. Now, with that being said, the collections department is still open. I have been working a lot talking to the IRS every day. And not every day, but Monday through Friday. And I typically don't even call them on Fridays, but I've been working with my clients just to make sure that we are protecting their assets, protecting their bank accounts, protecting their wages. So I have been working kind of round the clock to make sure that all my clients are protected. So I know firsthand that the IRS was open today because I spoke to the IRS, so different people in different departments, mainly surrounding collections. I have spoken to them today, like 4 different times, about 6 different people. So they're open, but things are going to be limited. There's good news and bad news in that. If you were sweating bullets because you don't know if the IRS was going to accept your audit, then you still have to wait, especially if you were interacting with a live person, okay? If you had a revenue officer and that revenue officer was asking you for information to determine your ability to repay your debt or your inability to repay a debt, then that collection activity has been paused because that was, again, a face-to-face interaction. So they're gone home. Now, if you're just still receiving IRS letters, like the one I have right here, you probably can't see it, but if you're still receiving IRS letters, then if those letters are automated, 9 times out of 10, you're still going to receive those letters. So what does that mean for people that have tax balances? And what does that mean for taxpayers that owe the IRS tax returns? You still need to file those tax returns. You still need to settle those balances. Settling does not necessarily mean that you have to pay them everything up front. Settling still also means if you can't afford to pay the IRS, then prove to them that you can't pay them. If you need assistance in any of this, whether it is filing, whether it is helping the IRS understand your ability or inability to pay, please reach out to us at www.call callthetaxpro.com. That's www.callthetaxpro.com. I also want to share with you, I have a special announcement, if you will, because there again, people are still going to get these letters. So I am rebooting my podcast and we're going to have a whole series, and that series is called Stop IRS Letters. So all we're going to talk about are the various letters that you receive from the IRS or that you could receive. We're going to talk about how you handle those letters. We're going to let you know if the letter is what I call a house on fire letter or whether it's just a little nudge, because the IRS does work in stages. They will nudge you a little bit and then they'll nudge you a little bit more. And then if you ignore them too much, then the house ends up being on fire. They pour all the gas on the house and they strike the match. So I want to share with you, just or educate you, if you will, the types of letters that you could receive. So we're going to be breaking down those letters so that you'll know where you are as far as whether you're being nudged or whether the IRS is pouring the gasoline on your house and now the house is on fire. Okay? I cannot wait to share that podcast series with you. So again, that's all. But if you need help in the meantime, please reach out to us, www.callthetaxpro.com. Again, this is Deltrice Hart Anderson, keeping the IRS out of your pocketbooks, wallets, and bank accounts. Till next time, bye, y'all.